Hello friends, this is Hatim Rampurawala, and in this video we would be discussing illustrations of India's 15 revenue from contracts with customer. So in this video I would be quickly discussing the illustrations and not the concepts, but of course the concepts would be getting covered in the specific illustrations. So let's quickly solve, and since I had video specifically in relation to illustrations, so I thought of making one. So let's quickly go through. Okay. Illustration 1. New Way Limited decided to enter a new market that is currently experiencing economic difficulties and expects that in future economy will improve. So they are facing economic difficulties, and they are thinking that in future economy will improve. New Way enters into a contract with a customer in the new region for networking products for a promised consideration of 12,50,000 at the contract inception. So he had entered into an what we can say, an arrangement with a customer for a promised consideration of 12,50,000 at contract inception. New Way Limited expects that it may not be able to collect the full amount from the customer. Okay, so determine how New Way Limited will recognize this transaction. Assuming the other answer, if we assume that other condition satisfied, and the last condition of recognition of revenue is collectability, and over here they have said that the company does not expect to collect the full amount. So whatever amount the company expects from this 12,50,000 would be recognized. Since they haven't given any specific amount, we have to just write a general answer. That is assuming that the contract meet the criteria covered within the scope, the other criteria within the scope of the model Ind AS 115. New Way Limited need to assess whether the collectability is probable. Now they have to see whether the collectability is probable. In making these assessment, New Way Limited considers whether the customer has the ability and intent to pay the estimated transaction price, which may be. So in this, what they will do is they will assess that whether the customer has the ability and intent to pay the estimated transaction price, which may be the amount less than the contract price. See, the contract price is 12,50,000, but even though the customer may pay less than or equal to 12,50,000. Okay, so we are done with illustration 1. Illustration 2. A gymnasium enters into a contract with a new member to provide the access to its gym for 12 months period at 4,500 rupees per month. The member can cancel his or her membership without penalty after 3 months. So they can cancel without penalty after 3 months. So for 3 months in, so if the contract gets cancelled within 3 months, the penalty can be levied. So this 3 month, the gymnasium has an, what we can say, gymnasium and the both the party basically have the, what we can say, the member can cancel with his or her membership without penalty. So the gymnasium have the, what we can say, enforceable right. So that will be the contract period. Specify the contract term. Enforceable rights and obligation of these contracts are for 3 months, and therefore the contract term is 3 months. Illustration 3. Actually we are just done with 2 questions, and the time taken is 3 minutes. We will quickly go through, and I will try to complete this entire, I don't know specific illustration how many there are. Might be there are 70 plus illustrations. In less than 30, in less than 3 hours I will try to cover all, either in one video, or I will make the parts, so for example 10 illustration or 20 illustrations. Okay, so illustration 3. Contractor P enters into a manufacturing contract to produce 100 specialized CCTV camera for the customer Q for a fixed price of 1,000 per sensor. So P has entered into Q for 1,000 specialized CCTV camera. Q can cancel this contract without penalty after receiving 10 CCTV camera. So this is in same as earlier question. So now they have asked is specify the contract unit. So over here the contract unit would be 10, because customer Q can cancel the contract without a penalty. So without penalty, how much they are receiving after receiving 10 CCTV? So contract unit would be 10 units. P determines that because there is no substantive compensation amount payable by Q on termination of the contract, that is no termination penalty in a contract. It is akin to a contract to produce 10 CCTV camera that gives Q an option to purchase an additional 90 CCTV camera. Hence the contract is for 10 units. Okay, then illustration. Wait a second, I will just read this question again. P enters into a manufacturing contract for to produce 100 CCTV camera for with the customer Q for a fixed price of 1000 per sensor. The customer Q can cancel the contract without the contract penalty after receiving. Yeah, the concept is the same like the earlier question. Then we will move to illustration number 4. Manufacturer of the aeroplane for the fire force negotiate a contract to design and manufacture new fighter planes for the Kashmir Air Base. At the same meeting, the manufacturer enter into a separate to supply the parts for the existing plane at the other bases. So now there are two contracts. First is supply of any fighter plane, and the second one is to supply the parts for the existing plane. Means the second one is for the supply of parts and the first one is the manufacturing contract. So both are distinct. So what the question they have asked is, would these contract be combined? They cannot be combined. Contract are negotiated at the same time, even though the contract are negotiated at the same time, but they appear. What I will do is I will keep a little a speed of mind while reading, so we get our illustrations get covered in a desired time limit. Okay, so the contract are negotiated at the same time, but they appear to have a separate commercial object. The both our object are different. Manufacturing and the supply of any contract are independent, are not dependent on one another, and the planes and the parts are not a single performance obligation. Therefore, the contract for the supply of any fighter planes and the supply of any parts shall not be combined. Instead, they shall be accounted separately. Illustration 5. Software company S entered into any contract to license its customer relationship management software to customer B. So now what the first sentence says that S has entered into any contract to license its customer relationship software to B. They are selling basically, that is contract to license this to customer B. 3 days later, in a separate contract, S agrees to provide consulting services in they are providing services to significantly customize the license software to function in B's environment. What they are first providing is customized software, customer relationship management software to B. S is supplying software to B, and this is a customized software basically, which is functional in B's environment. So B, and the last line is, B is unable to use the software until the customization services is completed. So this contract is basically is combined. That is, there are not two performance obligations, there is only one performance obligation. There is a single performance obligation. S determines that the two contracts should be combined because they are entered into nearly the same point of time. See, one is S had contracted, and 3 days later it is approximately nearly the same time, and with the contract are single performance obligation. Illustration 6. Manufacturer enters into any contract to manufacture and sell a cyber security system to government related entity P. M is transferring a government cyber security system to a government related entity P. 1 week later, that is this is also a smaller time gap. 1 week later, in a separate contract, M enters into a contract to sell the same system to the government related entity Q. Now M is first supplying to Q. P 1 week later, M is supplying to Q. Both these entities are controlled by the same government during the negotiation. So now this both P and Q both would be negotiating for reduction in a price because while buying the this cyber security system from manufacturing M. So what M said is, M agrees to sell this system at a deep discount. He will offer a deep discount if both P and Q are purchases the secure if both P and Q purchases the security system. So if even one purchases, this deep discount won't be available. So what they did, government would be, since it is required by both these entities P and Q. So M put a condition that agrees to sell the system at a deep discount if both entity purchases. Okay, now should these contract be combined or separately accounted? This will be combined because they are transacted at the same point of time, and same point of time. And what the other reason they have given is, M concludes that the said two contracts should be combined because among the other thing P is first of all, see the reasoning are P is related party to Q, related party because they are both are related to the same government, government is related. Then second, contract are entered into nearly the same point of time as I said, and the contracts were negotiated as a single commercial package. See, these are negotiated also as a single commercial package. See, at the as that can be seen from the last line, because M agrees to give deep discount if both are purchased. So these are purchased in a single negotiation, in a single negotiation, which is clearly evident from the fact that the discount is being offered if both the party purchases the security system, thereby also making the consideration in one contract dependent on the other contract. One contract has been dependent on the other contract, okay, which makes one contract dependent on other, basically. So that's what they have asked, whether that can be combined. Yes, they are combined, that can be combined. Illustration number 7. Entity an entity promises to sell 120 products to the customer for 1,20,000 rupees. The products are transferred to the customer. So first contract was to supply 120 products at 1,20,000, that is 100 per 1,000 per product was the contract price. The product are transferred to the customer over a period of 6 months. The entity transfers a control of each product at the point of time. These are transferred at the point of this we will study later on. That is the questions we will see at the point of time and over the point of time, the questions at the later stage. Then after the entity has transferred the control of 60 products from amongst 120 to the customer, the contract is modified to require the delivery of an additional 30 products. Now the contract means the customer would be needing another, in addition to that 120, he would be needing another 30 products, and that have been agreed at a total, means which would be totaling to 150 identical products to the customer at a price of 150 per product, which is standalone selling price. 950 is the standalone selling price for that 30 product. For standalone selling price for such an additional product at the time of placing these additional orders, the additional 30 products were not included in the initial contract. In this that 120 doesn't include the 30, the 30 is in separate, which makes a total of 150. It is assumed that the additional products are contracted for a price that reflects the standalone selling price. This additional price reflects the standalone selling price. So what the question they have asked is determine the contract price for contract. Now what would be the contract, sorry, determine the accounting for the contract modification. This is the accounting for contract modification. When the contract is modified, what the entity will do, the price of the contract modification for the additional 30 product is an additional, what is the additional amount, that is 30 into 950, that is 28,000 or 950 per product. The pricing of the additional 30 product reflects the standalone selling price. So basically this is this has to be accounted as two separate contract. These are distinct supplies and not a single performance obligation. So this won't be accounted as on a cumulative catch-up basis, which you would be seeing in the next the next to next question. So this is a separate performance obligation, and it is accounted also separately. Okay, so the second point, second sentence, that is the pricing of the additional product reflects the standalone selling price of any product at the time of the contract modification, and the additional products are at the additional products 30 distinct from the original product. Accordingly, the contract modification for the additional 30 products is in effect a new, and this 30 basically is new and a separate contract for the future product that does not affect the accounting for the existing contract, and it does not affect the accounting for existing contract and contract per product for the 30 products. So this won't be affecting the accounting for existing contracts, and this 950 per product for 30 products is a new contract. This is basically a new contract. Illustration 8. On 1st April, KLC Limited entered into any contract with Mr. K to provide machine. So in this also KLC has entered with K to provide machine of 2.5 million and a 1-year maintenance services of 55,000, and in addition to that for 2.5 million machinery, they are providing 1-year maintenance services also for 55,000 per month. Now on 1st October, that is after 6 months, after entering 6 months of any maintenance services, KLC Limited and K Limited agreed to modify. Now they are modifying the contract to reduce the amount of any services from 55,000 to 45,000 per month. Determine the effect of change in the contract. Now the earlier 6 month service has been rendered at an amount of 55,000. They have modified the amount to 45. Basically, it is assumed basically that the services would have been changed, because in earlier 55,000 has been earlier 55,000 the customer used to pay, so the services would be a little different, and now the service would be a less. They have modified. So how this should be accounted, what question they have asked is determine the effect of change in the contract. So this has to be accounted as a contract modification. How contract modification, that is what we can say, termination of an existing contract, that is earlier one contract, that is 55,000 per month, and creation of any new contract. See, we'll read this answer solution. The next 6 months of any services are distinct from the services provided in the first 6 months. As I said, the first 6 months service and the next 6 months services are different. Before modification in the contract, first 6 months service before contract is modification in contract. Okay, therefore KLC Limited will account for the contract modification as if it were a termination of an existing contract and a creation of any new contract. The consideration allocated to the consideration which has been allocated to the performance obligation is 2,70,000. See how 2,70,000 came, is 45,000 into 6 months left, and allocated to the remaining performance obligation of 6 months is basically the sum total of the consideration promised to the customer that was included in the estimated of the transaction price and had not yet been recognized as revenue, which amount is 0, and the consideration promised as a part of any contract modification. So the first is the consideration which has been promised by the customer as a result, that was included in the estimate of the transaction price, the one amount which was included in the estimated transaction price earlier. So there isn't any basically any data given in the question that the consideration was promised by the customer that include this amount, that any amount has been estimated which has been included in the estimate of any transaction price and had not yet been recognized as revenue. There isn't any amount, so this amount is 0, and the promised part of any contract modification is 2,70,000. Consideration promised, so 0 plus 2,70,000 is 2,70,000. Illustration 10. What time we have taken? 17 minutes. Illustration 9. Growth Limited enter into any contract with any customer for the infrastructure outsourcing deal. Based on these experience, Growth, the customization will take place. Basically, the Growth has entered with the customer for infrastructure deal. Based on its experience, Growth Limited determines that the customizing the infrastructure will take approximately 200 hours in total to complete the project, with charge 150. After incurring 100 hours of time, Growth Limited and the customer agrees to, now after 100 hours, what did Growth Limited and customer agree upon? To change the aspect of the project and increase the estimated labor hour by 50 hour at a rate of 100 per hour. So now how this should be accounted as per 115. So we'll quickly go through the answer. As I said earlier, that now what basically in this sum would be, this is basically a work on an existing project which has been extended by 50 hours. So this is this would be considered as a single performance obligation and not a distinct contract, as we have seen in question number 7. The 120 and the 30 products again that was sold was separate, and in this case this additional 50 hour would be a single performance obligation, because this is basically the work has been done on this infrastructure outsourcing deal. Basically the work is infrastructure outsourcing deal. Okay, and in that the hours has been extended, so this would be accounted as a cumulative revenue would be accounted on the cumulative catch-up basis. That is considering that the remaining goods and services are not distinct, the modification will be accounted for as a cumulative catch-up basis as given below. That is 200 into 150, 30,000, 50 into 10, 5,000. What would be the average is 140. Now revenue to be recognized, how much revenue to be recognized till now? 100 hours has been rendered. 100 into 140, 14,000, but they have booked a revenue of 15,000, so 1,000 adjustment had to be made. Illustration number 10. We would not be covering examples, illustrations are more than enough. A construction service company enters into any contract with any customer to build a water purification. So now the construction company has been entered with the customer for building a water purification plant. The customer is responsible for all the aspects of the plant, including the overall project management, engineering and the design services, site preparation, physical construction, of the plant procurement. So these are the services basically being rendered: procurement of any pump and what is this, equipment for measuring and testing flows volume testing. We have reached 20 minutes and we are on the question number 10. Yeah, then too we are within the limit. My target was to complete 10 question in 15 minutes, but it's fine, even though we have taken 5 minutes more. Question number illustration 10. Basically this construction company is rendering services, are providing services to the contract for to build a water purification plant. Now the customer is company is responsible for all the aspects of the plant, including the overall project management, engineering, design services, site preparation, physical construction of the plant, procurement of any pump equipment for measuring and testing the flow volumes and water quality, and water flow, and the integration of all the components. Determine whether the contract has a single performance or multiple performance obligation. The contract only has single contract will be considered as rendering of these services. All these services will be considered as a single performance obligation, because at the end the construction company is providing a service of building a single asset, that is water purification, and he is not supplying individual assets. Okay, so we'll quickly go through this answer as well. And I think I should make I will make a 10 illustrations video, that would be more easy, and I will specifically make a thumbnail as well on that basis only, that is 1 to 10 illustration, 11 to 20. So that would be easy for whichever question you want to do, you can directly revise. Okay, answer is determining whether the goods or the services represent. Answer: determining whether the goods or the services represent a performance obligation on its own, or is required to be aggregated with other. Whether we have to account it as separate on its own, or is required to be aggregated with other goods and services, can have a significant impact on the timing of the revenue recognition. This all will have their specific impacts on the timing of revenue recognition. In order to determine how many performance obligations are present in a contract, company has to apply the guidance above, while the customer may be able to benefit from each promised consideration on its own. First, the customer is benefiting from each promised goods and services on its own, or together with already readily available resources that do not appear to be separately identified within the context of the contract. That is, promised goods or services are subjected to significant integration. The word here, significant integration, is of most importance. That is, this promised goods or services, all the goods or services are subjected to significant integration, and as a result it will be treated as a single performance obligation, and because of that it will be treated as a single performance obligation. This is consistent with a view that the customer is primarily interested in acquiring a single asset, water purification. Basically the customer is interested in acquiring water purification plant rather than the collection of any related component and services. So with this I will stop with this video, and we'll continue with illustration 11 to 20 in our next video. Basically this is also in I can cover it in this video itself. Wait a second, I will see how many concepts that will be. I will make a video of 10 only. The video is short and simple. So thank you for watching the video, guys, and do watch the further illustrations in the coming video. Thank you.